I recreated this shot from the Batman because this guy did it and I got loads of views, so I did an SL. Yeah, that was so cool. Like and subscribe. I have a video where you can learn how to do Filmmaker stuff in SL, but I'll break down what I've done essentially. When you have no money and all you have is a damn video game to work with, well, you're kind of screwed. But your one option is layering on top of each other. Loads of clips, loads of things. Because if you can't get the right scene, you can't have fire in SL. There's no such as fire. There's no rain. There's barely any liquid in the game. You're creating a collage of things that seem, you know, like it would fit the scene. And so a lot of these things have to feel like they're invisible, but also add value to the scene at the same time. Mask them in correctly, and it's just a bunch of compositing, if I'm honest. And it seems more complicated than it is, but it's a lot of time. It's a lot of layers in After Effects, because if you didn't know, in After Effects, every time you make a cut in editing software, it's always a new layer, which isn't very good. But that's one reason people don't normally use After Effects. But I'm just built different, and I can survive off 500 layers and not naming a single one. I don't care, Ben Marriott. I don't care. I'm not doing it. I might color them because it looks pretty, but I'm not gonna name them. You think I'm getting jobs? You think I'm gonna get occupation out of this? Anyway, if you're using After Effects, you're not getting a job. Use Nuke instead, honestly. But if you want to make motion graphics, you work OCD style, then go ahead and name it if you think that works better for you. But for me, I just can't be bothered. Sometimes I'll name them because I feel guilty, but it's just the guilt. It's not it's not making my workflow that much better. It might be a bit confusing at times, looking at 100 layers, which are all named 2025 dash and then the date. But for the most part, I can manage with my coloring system, which looks prettier anyway. And setting up the initial shots, you've got to figure out what you actually need in the scene. The subjects, the blocking. I noticed obviously in the middle, you have to have some kind of character who looks imposing, and I think the chaos looks the most interesting out of all of them. And the gun that he's holding is a Logicer, which is so big that it might as well compensate for the lack of cape. Unfortunately, I'm working with dummies here, which are quite literally dummies because they're stupid and they don't really follow commands, especially if you're in spectator mode or filmmaker mode. If you're in filmmaker mode and you click follow on your admin tab, they're not going to follow you because you're not a player. You're technically filmmaker. If you're setting up a shot from far away and you want to see it and it's all set up nice with the right zoom, with the right rotation, you're not going to be able to do that. You're going to have to work with the FOV slider on the in the game. Otherwise, you're going to have to set up the shot. So the car I needed, but I know I can't stop the car anywhere, and there's only one place in which it is when it's not spawned. It's just sitting there running away, just on the side of the ledge, which is quite interesting for a place. But I needed lighting there, and unfortunately there is no clipping. Like there's no hitbox in that area. So every time I put a tutorial there with a lamp in order to light the place up, he would fall through the floor and then die. So I had to give it God mode because he kept falling in an infinite portal loop to the point where he was so fast falling that he would just stay. It would look like he was static and wasn't even moving. Because he'd keep teleporting back to me, but like a Minecraft dog. Essentially, I had to work with this and just set him God mode and set him so it looked like he was behind the car, and I could work around his silhouette, which is a pain. But in the end, it worked, and I was able to separate the car from the scene and from the tutorial dummy that was standing behind it.